You have these crafts that are handed down from the past that are still vital today, and then design pointing the way to the future.
The textiles which are on display are the only textiles in the whole world that are made of the golden spider silk.
Each of these carpets will live so much more than us. They will overlive like many, many generations.
They are so unique and beautiful because the gold color is actually how it comes out from the spider.
Hello and welcome to Qatar 365. I'm Adil Halim, and on this episode we explore the textile industry. Laila Humaira introduces us to the sacred rituals women weavers of Afghanistan have practiced for generations. But first, we're at the Museum of Islamic Art for a new exhibition that explores the remarkable world of golden spider silk. I even got a chance to see a golden cape being showcased in the Middle East for the very first time, which took 2 years to produce and incorporates the silk of 1.2 million spiders. This exhibition includes 4 golden textiles crafted from spider silk. Yes, you heard that right. Silk from golden orb weaver spiders indigenous to Madagascar and famous for the color of their webs.
One of the things about it is it produces this wonderful gold thread. Just the fact that where you know it comes from is already a sort of magical thing, because it's hard to associate the web of a spider with which is such an ephemeral thing which can blow away in the wind, and then imagine that as something permanent. So, and just how on earth do you do it? How do you get from being that ephemeral thing to a permanent thing?
Answering that question has become a labor of love for Simon Piers and Nicholas Godley, who spent 2 decades of trial and error producing spider silk strong enough to produce textiles.
So every day we have quite a number of people going out in the town with long bamboos, just catching spiders, putting them in a box, bringing back to the place which we call the spidery, which is where we extract the silk, and then in the afternoon put them back in the box and they are released back into the wild. So it's not in our interest at all to kill the spider. We want to keep the spider alive.
Interest in spider silk goes back centuries, but these pieces are the only examples of golden spider silk in the world. Now, if you're squeamish or scared of the creepy crawlers, just imagine the process of extracting 1 ounce or 28 grams of golden spider silk requires the help of 23,000 spiders. And a lot of silk was needed for the highlight of the exhibit. This gold cape is from the silk of 1.2 million golden spiders, which took more than 2 years to produce and over 6,000 hours of embroidery.
I think you have to be incredibly passionate and maybe a little crazy to commit yourself to a project like this. It takes time, energy, resources. You're surrounded by spiders in Madagascar, but they can't be harvested the way that other industries are harvested, right? So you have to actually go into the wild, catch them, go through the process of removing the spider silk, and then releasing them back into nature, all the while trying not to get bitten by the spider itself.
The exhibition space is part of the museum's last and final stage of a relaunch project that opened before the World Cup in 2022. The museum's director says the exhibition embraces sustainability by highlighting the use of eco-friendly vegan silk in the final exhibit pieces.
They are so unique and beautiful because the gold color is actually how it comes out from the spider. It's natural color, and for me it's the first time I see such textiles that are not dyed, shiny and gold from nature. It's also a very sustainable way of producing silk from the spiders. There are lots of research done to develop this technique. Also, we have displayed some historical manuscripts and books for the visitors to get to know more about it. We hope the visitors will enjoy the exhibition and find it inspiring.
Now you're probably wondering, what does it take to preserve the rare, priceless textiles found here at the Museum of Islamic Art? Whether they're ancient artifacts preserved for generations or relatively new works of art like the golden spider silk pieces we just saw, clearly considerable care must be taken. I recently got a chance to go behind the scenes to see how Conservator Dominika Kostelnikova prepares the textiles before they're displayed to the public. Dominica, there's a big focus on textiles here at the Museum of Islamic Art. Can you walk us through the process of how you restore and preserve some of these items?
The work of textiles conservation includes many aspects. For example, first step, when the textiles objects reach the conservation laboratory, usually me as textile conservator, I need to prepare the condition check and photo documentation of objects before any intervention. Usually after that we need photograph. The textile conservator research the objects, different textile techniques or composition of textile fibers. And there is a lot of questions which we need to answer for them.
So here at MIA you have textiles from all over the world, from Africa, Asia, and Europe particularly. Is there a big difference when you're working with pieces from different locations, different time periods?
Yes, the textiles which we have in MIA collection includes different textile techniques. For example, the people in the past, they use different techniques for decorative of textiles in Europe and in Central or East Asia. The same with woven of fabrics or textiles. The luxurious textiles were representative gifts in the past, and usually it was the trade between Europe and Asia.
So Dominica, what are we looking at here?
Now we have here the Mongolian brocade robe, silk robe from the 14th century. It's a very beautiful robe, but in poor condition because it's archaeological textiles. And now I start with humidification and flattening of creases and folds, which we can see here in this place. It's very specific brocade robe, because brocade is very specific shuttle woven fabric where the people use the metal threads. It means usually gold or silver threads. And in this case, especially because brocade textiles are very specific and looks very luxurious, and in the past were very expensive. So it's the most beautiful textile for me.
The intricate work behind creating a piece of textile makes it more than just a skill. In some communities, the art of weaving has been passed down through generations. At Design Doha, Qatar Museum's new Biennale, a special exhibition is putting an innovative spin on an ancient craft, and Laila Humaira got an inside look.
From the mountains of central Afghanistan to a contemporary art space in Qatar, designer Mariam Omar skillfully weaves an ancient handicraft tradition with modernity to create a powerful presentation at the M7 Museum.
I wanted to celebrate the carpet weavers, actually, that are carrying these centuries-old tradition of carpet weaving in Afghanistan.
Mariam spent 10 months closely interacting with the carpet weavers who went on to help her create the rugs on display.
And I wanted my inspiration to be the person who is weaving. What is it about them, about their weaving hands, about their sounds, their voices, their environment, their stories, their personalities, their colors?
Mariam Omar's weaving poem exhibition transforms this space in the M7 Museum into a world of women weavers from Afghanistan's Bamiyan region, welcoming visitors into a sacred space where creativity comes alive. Weaving Poems was curated by Turquoise Mountain, a non-profit organization founded by King Charles in 2006 to revive, preserve, and support thousands of families in Afghanistan.
So Turquoise Mountain supports artisans, and we support artisans where their traditions, and often they are under threat. And we do it in any way we need to make sure that they can thrive and that they can pass it on to the next generation.
The foundation has since expanded to more countries, where traditional handicrafts and cultural heritage are at risk of disappearing.
We work in Myanmar, we work in the Levant with Syrians, Jordanians, and Palestinians from Jordan and from the West Bank, and we work in Saudi Arabia. And so that is so many different traditions, probably almost 100 different traditions across those countries.
Using textiles as a medium of visual arts may be less common, but Design Doha believes that doesn't mean it can't be as impactful.
When we think about textiles, of course that sits within this larger topic, which is craft and its relation to design, because certainly you can't make great textiles without having a lot of knowledge about looms or other textile techniques that go back centuries here in the region. So what's very interesting is that you have these crafts that are handed down from the past that are still vital today, and then design pointing the way to the future.
For Mariam, working with textiles isn't just a thread that connects her to her people, country, and culture. It's also an art she hopes will transcend borders and time.
My hope is that the visitors will look at these carpets and they will understand the value that carpet weaving, this extremely old tradition of handmade woven carpets, still carry in today's design scene and today's interior. That each of these carpets will live so much more than us. They will overlive like many, many generations. They will still be alive. This value that these people create with their hands, I always say, and not at the time.
From Madagascan spiders spawning gold silk to Afghanistan's rich carpet weaving tradition, we hope you enjoyed this episode. But that's all the time we have for now. For more, check out Euronews.com and connect with us through our hashtag. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Qatar 365.